Okay, guys, now I want to speak about uh, one thing that is really interesting for me. I am a backend developer. I work normally with Node.js, and I was bored with it. I am boring normally the majority of days, and I decided to change to go one deep level, see how really works one HTTP server. And I decided to ask to ChatGPT to create one basic HTTP server without dependencies, only using libraries from the by default libraries that exist in Linux. Thing now I want to show that. Here I have some comments because that is the way that I learned the things that are normally interesting for me. I use really comments to be tagging my code. So really interesting for me that first is that STDO. Okay, it is. I know it is. You know, first that nothing I want to say that it is obvious that I'm going to I built or ask I asked ChatGPT for one code with C programming language. So I have some notes about C programming language, and I have also some comments about the basic HTTP server also. And first, if provide functions for input and output. Okay. It is if you know C programming language, you know it is basically allowed to use print function. Some interesting here is that it provides stdlib. I am referring to stdlib. It provides functions for memory allocation, process control, conversions. It is other interesting thing also because memory allocation, I didn't know that this library is used for it. Process control, I didn't believe that there are libraries to control the process of one software, the process of one software. I didn't believe that it was possible that exist uh, APIs for it. And another utilities. It is only as introduction. I only want to show uh, because I have these comments in this code. Because basically in this case, the thing that catch my attention is that stdlib is used for process control. String it is normal. It is basically allow manage strings. No problem with it. Not catch my attention really. Uh, Manipulating strings in memory blocks. Okay, it is interesting if we see the strings. Uh, you will manage the strings in memory blocks. It is really interesting for me because I am one backend developer. So normally I don't see these kind of concepts in in Node.js. So for that reason, it's interesting for me. Okay, it provides any STD provide access to the POSIX operating system API. Basically, it is offering access to the kernel API of the kernel, including functions for file operation. Okay, really, it catch my attention also. I didn't know that when one in this text mentioned that including functions to for file operations. It in Linux, I believe that it is named file descriptors. I didn't know that also it is used uh, at moment to create one simple HTTP server. I didn't believe that was possible use file descriptors for it. Okay, process control. I suppose that is the same that this process control that belongs to this library live. Okay, so I want to go to the code. First, that nothing is interesting for me. That where is socket? Okay, I first want to see what is socket because it is the basic. It is the basic idea. Understand the basic idea how to work one HTTP server. First, we need to understand what is a socket. And one socket is one abstract endpoint for communication. Yep, soon is one abstraction that allows communication between two softwares. No matter if it are two softwares through HTTP communication in different machines or softwares in the same machine. It is really crazy. I only saw sockets in Node.js through WebSockets that allow communication, that allow real-time communication between one browser and one server. But it is more deep. It was crazy for me. After that, okay, now we will see the code. Server FD basically refer to server file director, file descriptor. If you don't know what is file descriptor, check that. It is one concept that normally I saw that use Linux. After that, I have one IAM file descriptor. Basically, it is one variable that will be used when the client will realize one request server. After that, we have here address that it comes from one library that belongs to the kernel of Linux. Netinet. Basically, it in this case, where okay, this library is also really important because Netinet refers to the family refers to one family of headers files used for internet protocols. Okay, this library is used to internet protocols in low level socket programming. Basically, this library allowed to create one HTTP server because has the required building blocks to that. For instance, you can see it here, netinet slash n netinet slash TCP and netinet slash IP. Really important libraries at the moment to create one socket. Um, After that, okay, we are creating one variable for address, or IP address, of course, one address length. Also, now we start to create one socket with this. Basically, this socket comes from this socket library that belongs to kernel of Linux. So that means that we are using really internal libraries of the same kernel to create one HTTP server. It was really crazy for me. That is always on when you don't use external libraries to see how really works one HTTP server. Okay, but basically it is the way here, as you can see, create socket using IP one IP version 4, and it will be TCP. I really don't understand still because it basically was generated by ChatGPT. Uh, I saw that uh, there are differences between TCP and HTTP protocols. TCP basically his main task is uh, allow the delivery of message, and HTTP is one way to define how will be the communication between one client and one server. If we how will be the communication? If it will be by JSON, if I want to realize one task uh, or one pull task or one get task. But it generate it TCP was this part of the comment was generated by him, and I don't know what reason I include it here if I am creating one HTTP server, or maybe it is because to have one HTTP server it's necessary to have first one TCP server. It is also I saw also that it is possible to run one HTTP server over one UPD protocol, but I don't know. I believe that it was included here because to exist one TCP first we need to ensure that we have one layer that loves the delivery of message. Okay, I have one idea now. I want to uh, see uh, networking oscillators. I don't know what to do. But nothing. Okay, here we have it TCP and PD, and we are creating one HTTP server, and it is required that exists one layer to allow transport the information. I believe that for a reason, ChatGPT added this comment will be one TCP server. Okay. Another thing interesting here is that AF dash net means next address family and family of address. I didn't know that exists. So a stream this tell to the operating system what type of communication will be the socket. In this case, will be one, but after we'll add one comment about it. Basically, it is saying that the socket will be TCP. It has sense. Yeah, I believe that it has sense because I am building one HTTP server, and I am creating this layer, H1 server for this layer. Then have sense that if I need to create one that kind of application, first I need to use one TCP, one layer for transport. Yeah, it has sense absolutely. Zero default protocol. Default protocol. Okay, I believe that zero belongs to value. By default will be used TCP. Okay, it be the error. I remember from where comes the and basically comes from STDO. That means STDO. If I remember now, STDO allows to input and output of message. Yeah, basically is that input and output operations. Yeah. After that, uh, I um okay. I was here basically. Exit. Exit comes from delete. That means that exit it is telling that my current follower will get out. Finish. Okay. Bind to port 8000. Port. Okay, it is my port variable. Okay, I will go to the most interesting part for me. I have a lot of comments, but I will try to explain what was the most interesting part for me. This part is really, really important and interesting for me. Bind, basically, bind system called assigned uh, and a specific IP address and port number to server the socket. Basically, when you create one socket with this method, you only create one socket in your computer. But if you wanted that it as as one uh, as one specific IP address when with one specific port, you need to use this bind method. Each method allows to assign one IP address to socket. Interesting, really important, in fact. After that, listen, we have here the listen methods. Listen concept before listen. Server FD, server file director is just a socket already connection. Okay, it is important. After listen, server file director becomes one TCP server socket. Operating system will now accept in connections. Really important also. With it only using it method, only using this method recently, only using this method will be capable to receive connections our TCP server. I say TCP server because basically we have two parts. First, we need to be capable to receive connections, and after that, we receive connections. We will be capable to uh, we will be capable to receive requests. But first, we need to ensure that we are receiving connections. After that, okay, this code is also really important because accept incoming connections from queue. This code accept connections. Okay, incoming connection from queue. After accept, we can read, write, and close. Obviously, because now we are accepting. Recently, we can realize the next operation. Read information request, write information, uh, or basically create one response to the client, and of course close the close the connection with that client after to one write. But basically, with this code, we are accepting coming connections. I didn't know, also really interesting for me, that the connections are stored in one queue. I suppose that it is one queue in the memory, and all the connections that is happening in our server is being queued in memory of the Linux. I don't believe that in this that the request works. After that, we here we read the request. We are using that client file director. We create one buffer for it, one additional parameter to that requires read it methods. Really important if we want to read the request from the client. After that, we create one response. We are adding here some headers. Uh, Finally, we return the response here. And finally, write that response. Use the client director here the response. And I don't know what is the length of one. Okay. I don't know, but it is required. I suppose that required for. And finally, after that, we receive the request. Finally, we need to close the connection with that client. Important because I I suppose that we are releasing, we are reading. I don't know how to pronounce. I speak Spanish. Sorry for that. Yeah, I am releasing memory. I want to say that maybe when only with we realize one clause, when use clause methods, we are releasing memory. And finally, we close the server. But the code only when we will see. I will realize one test for it. If that I have running this project, I will run again it. Server one is the basic the okay. We are now our server is sending a port 8000. Uh, let's guys one test for it. Ready? We receive the response, and I want to show one thing. If you see it closing client connection, closing client connection, and basically that means that after that our server responds to the client, we are closing this connection. But still, that means that this code it is still running in this while loop. It is constantly listening, or one simulation for this is running constantly. Never we arrive to this point that is cross server. For reason because we don't have this we application never print this this print, this software never print closing server. Means that it is running only in this while loop. And finally, I suppose, okay, I will try to, okay, when I stopped the process, never this code is really strange. How maybe if I stop the process that I was running previously, maybe uh, maybe still I have the connection open directly with the operating system. I don't know what really is happening here. Okay, don't matter. For me, it was really interesting. I wanted to share my experience learning about how R implement things in low level. I am bored with Node.js. Sometimes I am bored. I need another things. Okay, guys, this is all for now. Now I was checking for the next video. I am trying to implement uh, one simulation for create different threads when I receive requests. Basically, I will try to create one thread by every request that I receive my server. Uh, so I of course I use uh, help of ChatGPT. It is the unique way that I can advance. Without ChatGPT, I believe that it may have months, really may have take months to understand how really works one HTTP server. Okay, I will try to create that. I will try to create one thread by every request that server receives. But that will be one video. It will be for the next. This is all for now, guys. See you later.